Hey kids, here we are again. Let's see. Got my Mickey D's coffee. This is my third cup of Mickey D's coffee today. So we got a request from one of our biggest vermiculite consumers. Says we should tell more A&P stories. So here we go. So the names will be omitted to protect the innocent. So I went into the A&P. I think I was 16. I went in with bruised arms and broken rhythm and a beat up old Buick, but I looked just like dynamite. So, cast the characters. Here we go. Dick Tamariglio, manager. Joe Cologi, assistant manager. Joe Rienzi, produce guy. Jimmy Nelson, liquor guy. Ed Loring, Ed Loring, the meat guy. Um, Bobby Hamilanian, deli guy. String bean, I called him bacon, lettuce, and tomato Hamilanian. Jack Wynn, Judy Arzinger, Sue Mizan, I think that's how you said her name. Nancy Von Agee, Sharon Big Chest McAndrew, Bobby Artis. She made special mention that I had to talk about Jimmy Lavelle, so I'll get into Jimmy Lavelle a little bit later. But who else we got there? Dennis Fay, poor Dennis Fay. He just, well, that's another story. But so then we had who else? Let's see. Um, let's see who. Oh, George Steets. Holy shit! I almost forgot about George. Oh my God! How could I forget George? So where do you start? All right. So I think the first day I started there, I didn't know anybody, and I'm from the family in Glenrock that there was no fun in our house. So I'm going to this place, and I'm like, adults have fun. This is a new thing to me. So I think Dick would get a he would check you out when he was closing that night. He would count out the drawers and everything, and then he would get a tall boy a beer and smoke a cigar. But from what I heard, he was having stomach trouble, so he wanted to get out of the business and go into insurance or something. But I don't know. I don't know what happened. That's eons ago, right? So anyway, Ed Loring was the meat guy, this shop steward, just a happy-go-lucky guy, always smoking Pall Malls, non-filters. He's cutting the meat. The ashes are going in the meat, and so always trying to get in Sharon McAndrew's pants. Going to go take her to Corf's, the restaurant across the parking lot, and buy her Rob Roy's, and she'd go at the checkout. He'd be propositioning her at the checkout in front of the whole bunch of housewives, and yeah, Eddie, I'll go for Rob Roy's with you, but you're not gonna get in my pants. She said that. So Eddie goes over, and they did. The McAndrew girls had thin legs, and so I'm over there by the liquor department, and Jimmy Nelson was this real Irish Catholic guy, straight shooter, and Ed was, but he was not he was just Ed was Ed. Everybody loved him, same as the chief. Could not help but love this guy. So he goes over and he's checking out his beer over in Jimmy Nelson, and he's like talking about Sharon, and he's like, Jimmy goes, yeah, but they got funny legs, and Ed goes, you don't fuck the legs, Jimmy. You don't fuck the legs. So anyway, so Jimmy Lavelle, Sharon McAndrew called him super worker. The manager that came in after Dick Tamariglio was Joe Donato. He called him a fireball because this guy, he could bullshit like nothing before. I mean, he was friendly, but he ended up giving me a '62 Pontiac Tempest when he went in the Navy. So that's another story. So George Steets goes, oh, let me get into the Johnny McGovern of the A&P, because there's a Johnny McGovern everywhere. Everybody's got a mama's boy. And so Jimmy Reynolds this kid was nervous and jerky, and his mother was just a pain in the ass, right? So I'm wondering why I'm getting all these hours. I'm getting 29 hours a week, and then Sunday, so I'm making some good money, and I'm like, I wonder why I'm getting all. Then you get later in life, and you're like, if you could work for Phil Johnson, you could work for NASA. or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory because I'm idling in the EMP. At home, I have to go 100,000 miles an hour. But so anyway, I'm unloading stuff on the conveyor belt, and you're 16, you don't know anything. So I put a case of ketchup on this way instead of long ways on a conveyor belt. So it's going up there, and the whole thing of ketchup in glass bottles tips over, smashes on the ground. All I can remember is Reynolds sticking his head in the roller, going, he had these Reynolds faces. Joe, Joe, Bill broke a whole case of ketchup. So, Joe understood. You fucked up, you fucked up, you owned it. It was good, right? So, George and me started to become friends, and this other guy, Frank, we became pretty good friends. And they always wanted me to go upstate, and I never really liked bars, right? So, anyway, George goes out and gets a BSA 650 motorcycle, and his mother doesn't want him to have a motorcycle, which all mothers don't want him. Well, then he doesn't have a motorcycle. So he says, I was renting a garage from Kenny Krause. So he goes, can I keep it in your garage? So I'm like, yeah. So he said, can you teach me how to ride it? So I'm like, yeah. So none of these guys were driving clutch cars. All their mothers had these station wagons and, Power Glide transmissions and everything. So we go over to Hamilton School, me, George, and Frank go. I think we had licenses then, but nobody had a motorcycle license yet. So we're in Hamilton School in the big field there, and I'm trying to show George how to, give it gas and work the clutch, and he couldn't get it. He just couldn't get it. So I get on behind him, and I put my hand over his hand on the twist grip, and put my left hand over his hand on the clutch. And all I can remember him saying is, can you do this? And I'm like, yeah, I've been riding motorcycles and mini bikes and go-karts forever. So I released the clutch, and then he got it. He finally got it. So Mr. and Mrs. Steets were just great people, right? And so Mrs. Steets comes in one day and goes, I heard Georgie has a motorcycle in your garage. Shit. Cat's out of the bag. And the father's there in the background. He's smirking from ear to ear, and I'm like, hamna, 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 hamna. And she goes, it's all right, Bill. We already know that he's got the motorcycle. So, anyway, getting back to Jimmy Lavelle. Jimmy Lavelle he worked the deli, right? I think they fired him for stealing a 6-cent roll because Winkler, the supervisor, this guy was the epitome of an asshole. I mean, I wish I knew the guy now because he'd come in 7, 8 o'clock at night in the winter, collar pulled up, hat pulled down, and he'd go in the meat room and the two-way mirrors. He'd watch everything in his mind that everybody was doing wrong. You're putting cans on a shelf. How can you fuck that up, right? So he fires poor Jimmy for stealing a 6-cent roll, which they're going to throw him out anyway at the end of the day. So fuck that, right? So, and Jimmy was this long drink of water, and we became friends, and we cruised around a lot together, and it was a good crew. We had a lot of fun, and then the crew started to change. So it was, I think Judy left, Sharon left. Sharon was college, so she got a job as a teacher. I don't think Ed ever managed to get in her pants, but I never heard language like this before in my life. So Eddie'd be working in the meat room, right? And you go in there, have a break, puff a ciggy butt, because he was always smoking. Like ashes are going in the meat. People are eating the ashes. So they had a buzzer there. So he buzzer. Some ladies out there. Mrs. Schwartz is out there. So he rolls back the window and goes, "Oh, hello, Mrs. Schwartz. Oh, Edward, how are you doing today? I'd like a lamb for Easter." Eddie would go, "Okay, do you have any more shopping to do?" "Oh, yes, I have more shopping to do. Yes, more." So he goes, "Okay, finish your shopping and come back, and I'll have a beautiful leg of lamb for you. So he'd close the window, he'd look at me and go, fucking cunt. Can't make this shit up, right? Um, so it'd be summertime, and the waste product guy would come by to pick up all the, because they'd cut the meat on this big board, and then the scraps they put in a garbage can underneath the table in between their legs. And this byproducts truck would come by in the summertime in the back room, and you'd have to hump these cans out and put it in this thing where it flip over and put it in the truck. But my God, did it stink. It was rotting flesh, so it stunk to high heaven. And you had to do the Vicks trick. I learned the Vicks trick early. That guy came in, take a thing for Vicks from the shelf, just open it up, take a thing out, put it here, and then you put the thing back on the shelf. Some poor bastard opened up the Vicks and big finger, a little bit, too bad. Well, there you go. So, but if you didn't do the Vicks, you'd be puking in the back room there. So, anyway, let's see. So now Joe DiNardo's there, right? So, Vince Messina. Two Italian guys from Patterson. And the Patterson guys were always worried that they were going to get rolled because they got rolled in Patterson because Patterson was the king of rolling people in those days, robbing them, in case anybody here doesn't know that term. So Joe DiNardo used the intercom better than anybody I've ever seen used an intercom. It was like his own personal hotline. It didn't sink into him that it was going over the whole store to all the housewives, everybody, right? So I swear to God, this is true. Vince. Like, you didn't hear it the first. You didn't even need an intercom. The guy was so loud. Vince, go downstairs and bring up a case of Huddy-a-call for Mr. Schwartz. Don't you know that Vince Messina went downstairs and brought up a case of whatever canned vegetable this lady want? How he knew that is beyond me. I don't know, but it's true. So, he's anyway. Vince could fart like make your eyes are burning. You're in the aisle working with Vince. Also, holy shit, man, what the hell? So, Bobby Hamilanian working the deli, driest sense of humor I've ever seen in my life. And these kids were college kids. They didn't give a shit. They were going to graduate college like that year, and they didn't give a shit. So, he was doing a deli one day, and so at 9 o'clock, the store closes, and he's walking out, and so he's walking out, and Joe goes, Bobby, how's that deli look? You got that deli clean for me? That deli's sparkling, right? And Hamilanian just looks up and says, Joe, I wish I had my camera, and walks out. I'm like, ooh. So anyway, long and short of it is, we get two Jewish fellas from Fairlawn. Dumb and Dumber, Lazier and Laziest. Manny and Alan. Alan was this fat kid that whenever you went in the basement, he was always sitting around saying, I'm taking 2 minutes of my break now. And then 2 minutes later, I'm taking another 2 minutes of my break. So he ended up taking 5 hours of break. He'd take 2 minutes. So he lasted like about a minute, right? So Alan was trying. So Alan. So then we get this kid, Jimmy DeSalvo. So he had a nice Mustang too. So, but Joe, we got people that he favored, other people that he didn't, I guess. So I'm putting up my aisle one day, and you had an aisle every night. You got an aisle, a dish detergent aisle, and so whatever. So I'm putting up my stuff in the aisle, and Billy Johnson, how's that aisle coming? You got that aisle coming? Yeah. So you put shit up, you broke the boxes down, and you put them in a big cardboard box. So George is, I didn't know George was playing a game. George, you don't have your aisle up. So George had to work the produce thing and then put his aisle up at the same time. But by 7 o'clock, nobody was in the store anymore. So I go, George, George has all the boxes there. Shit has to go. I said, George, I'll help. He goes, no, no, no. The boxes are all empty. He had all the shit on the shelf already. He left the boxes empty because he just wanted to crank up Donardo. So he comes over. Georgie States, you don't have your aisle up. Billy Johnson's got his whole aisle up already. What's going on? So with that, he kicks the boxes thinking they're all full. The boxes go all over the place. Donardo goes on his ass. And George just, George was this real quiet guy. So anyway, I tell the story. I had to work produce for on a Saturday if George wasn't there and Rienzi wasn't there. So this guy comes in. It's 4th of July, I think. So, the husbands are sent on recon to get stuff the wife forgot to get. So I could never get math. Bananas were 2 pounds for 35 cents. I could never figure out how it was on a scale. So I just, here's a banana, a nickel or 5 cents. Whatever. I couldn't, just too cheap. So this guy comes in, he wants to buy a whole watermelon. So I'm like, fuck it, duck with shoes on. I don't know how much a watermelon is. So I put it on a scale. Anyway, it's 1969. I sold this guy a watermelon for $5 and the guy paid it. So I tell everybody when I get home, I sold a water $5. The guy probably got home, and his wife reamed him a new one because you had to write on the watermelon in a magic marker $5, so the cashier would know how much to charge. So anyway, Jimmy DeSalvo comes in there, nice kid, and really just infatuated with his car. But he was a good worker, right? So Joe, I don't know. He get on the intercom. Jimmy Salvo, come up to the front desk, Jimmy Salvo. So he's just mild-mannered kid. He goes, Joe, my name is DeSalvo. No, it's not. It's Salvo, like in the Navy. I want you to be like you're shooting guns off the battleship. I want you to do a salvo of guns. I want you to be in every aisle all the time. That's why I call you Jimmy Salvo. So anyway, that's one of the things. And the intercom. So anyway, Manny's gone, right? No, Alan's gone. Alan's the fat guy. Manny's still there. So Manny's now he doesn't fit in at all because he's a Jewish kid. They don't really work. I know it's ethnic slur, but that's too bad. That's the way it is. So Joe finally gets fed up with Manny. So this is on the intercom in front of the whole store. It's summertime. It's still light out. It's like 8 o'clock. Manny, I want you to go out, bring in all the carts, the carriages from the parking lot, bring them all in here. Then I want you to police that parking lot. I want that parking lot, all cigarette butts, soda cans, beer cans, garbage, everything picked up. I want that parking lot completely policed. I don't want any garbage in the parking lot. And then I want that parking lot swept. So you're on the intercom like, how's this guy going to sweep the whole And we knew Joe lost it when he goes, I want that parking lot swept, and then I want it mopped. And Joe, he liked to have everybody mop stuff. Total Navy. Let the mop do the work, Bill. Let the mop do the work. And you're like scribbling. I don't know what the fuck. I never mopped anything in my life, So anyway, that's the A&P story for today. Hope you liked it, folks. Remember, like and subscribe. And if anything else comes to mind, Kathy Lasance. Oh, Donna Daly. I forgot all about Donna Daly. She ended up being my sister's kindergarten teacher. And so Kathy Lasansky was the accountant or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So she was a nervous driver. She had a 69 Nova. So Joe had this Beetle, right? So Billy, hey, I got to go to the bank. Come with me to the bank because they're all afraid of getting rolled when they have the money in the bag goes to night deposit. Hey, come on, got to go to the bank. So that meant we had to go to the Pink Bank in Glen Rock. He gets behind poor Kathy in the 69 Nova, and she's going up Prospect Street exactly 25 miles an hour. Joe's flipping out. He's just wigging out. Come on, you stupid cunt. Move. I'm saying, Joe, that's Kathy. I don't care who it is. That cunt's driving. Look, I never heard this kind of language before. So with bruised arms and broken rhythm in a beat-up old Buick and dressed just like Dynamite. I went home every night, watched Johnny Carson, listen to Gene Shepard, and have a had a hell of a good time. Oh my God! So I hope our vermiculite people over there on Wood Creek enjoyed this story. So like and subscribe.